Hello, everyone. Today I want to talk about frustrating things about living in Russia. So, the first frustrating thing is like the government's trying to block internet and internet in general. I just read an article in a German newspaper that they're trying to completely block internet now and probably just have like they do in China, like a government controlled internet where you can only access information they want you to hear. But it happened shortly after the war with Ukraine. The first thing they blocked was Facebook for some reason. Like, Facebook isn't very popular in Russia. But yeah, and that was like my only contact with my friends and family in the USA. So yeah, I was very upset and frustrated. Then they blocked like WhatsApp and any other what they call foreign social media. And I would have all my lessons on WhatsApp, and it was very convenient because I just can call them like calling on a regular phone, and they would answer and be like, "Hey, Andrew." But now we're using Telemost because it's a Russian thing. It's not blocked. So I have to send them a link to Telemost, and then they have to answer the link before we can have class. Meaning they have to be much more responsible because they have to remember when we're having a lesson and then remember to check their phone and then click on the link and all, and they're all teenagers, so sometimes they forget, and you know, or sometimes the link doesn't go through. So it's a much bigger hassle than just calling them on the phone, like normal. So that was a problem, but at least there's Telemos. Um, so then they blocked YouTube. So you might ask, how am I making videos on YouTube if the government blocked it? Yes, YouTube is blocked in Russia, and so thank goodness for VPN, which my students taught me about. I had no idea what VPN was before, but they taught me about VPN. So yeah, I have to use VPN all the time. I keep it on like pretty much all day. I just shut it off at night. Because I don't look on any Russian websites or anything like that. I only look on like English or German things and like things like YouTube and news from America and Germany and Western Europe. So which is all basically blocked. Um, so yeah, VPN is very important for me, and so that's how we bypass the block. And like 99% of Russians just use VPN to pass by all the blocks. So it's not really effective anyway, because literally everyone just uses VPN and they're still watching YouTube and everything like that in Russia, even though it's blocked. Okay. So sometimes they like notice if I'm on like one VPN provider for a long time, they'll notice it, and then all of a sudden that provider will stop working and it just will not connect. Uh, I don't know how all that works, but well, I know VPN is sending a signal to another country and sending back or whatever. But my students said, yeah, it's possible for the government to block VPN also somehow if they like find like where a certain VPN that's being used very often by a lot of people, they'll find a way to block it. So I just switch VPN and then I'm back on whatever I want to do. It was funny. So, like with my 14-year-old son, he just turned 14. Question came up during lesson. do you ever do anything, or have you ever done anything illegal? And my student says, yes, of course. I do legal things every day. I'm like, really? What illegal things do you do every day? And he's like, you do illegal things every day too. I'm like, no, I don't, actually. I'm trying to be a good citizen now that I'm in Russia. I don't want to wind up in prison. I have several times, like for 24 hours. Anyway, but not in a long while. And it's like, so were you on YouTube today? I'm like, yeah. He's like, that's illegal. YouTube is blocked. It's illegal to access like foreign social media. YouTube is blocked. He's like, I'm on YouTube every day, and yeah, it's illegal. And technically, yeah, that's true. It's illegal, actually. So what I'm doing right now is illegal. I am breaking the law. So yeah. Mm. And like when I was getting Wi-Fi in my building or in my flat, right? Uh, the guy's like, okay, check if it's working. So I check something. I'm like, no, it's not working, or it's taking a long time to download. He's like, are you trying to access a foreign site? He looked at what I was accessing. It was like the news, right? Just like written news, not even a video. And he's like, that's illegal. That's against the law to access foreign sites. And then he's like, are you on VPN? That's legal. I think he was half joking, but yeah, pretty much is. So that's really frustrating. But thanks to VPN, it's not as frustrating as it would be otherwise. So, second thing is again, oh, second thing was just happening with my phone. I got to remember to touch my screen every time because, like, I tried doing this like two or three times, and the phone would keep going on, like screensaver mode or something, and it'll like ruin my video. So, but that doesn't have to do with Russia in specifically. That has to do with my phone. Okay. So second thing also has to do with the war. Basically, like, okay, yeah, this is really frustrating. So since the war started, the American embassy is closed in Russia. Except they're only open for emergencies. And I have to renew my my American passport. So I have to go to the embassy to renew it. And I wrote them messages and everything. They're like, sorry, that's not an emergency. But then I did Google it, and according to Google, I can drop off my documents at Thursday at 11 a.m. That's the only time, which I tried doing last week, but it didn't work out. I made a video about that. Well, about Moscow, not specifically about that. Anyway, so that's frustrating that I can't just go down to the embassy and renew my passport whenever I want. Also, the borders to like neighboring countries to Russia are closed down. So, like, okay, even if the embassy isn't open in Russia, I could have easily just gone to St. Petersburg, and St. Petersburg is a hop, skip, and a jump from Finland, and I could have gone to Helsinki to the American embassy and do all my documents there, and be home the same day. I mean, it's pretty close. St. Petersburg is a 17-hour train ride away, but okay. My aunt lives there, so I could have chilled with her while my documents were being prepared. But now the borders are closed to Finland, to Latvia, and all the bordering closest countries. So that's really frustrating. By the way, I can't talk that much about the war, even though I have strong opinions about it, because now if you're caught giving misinformation, supposedly, about the war, you can go to prison for 15 years. 15 years for basically just telling the truth about the war. Okay, so I can't talk about it much, unfortunately. I would like to. Okay, other frustrating things in Russia. Well, right now, uh, some of my students are kind of being frustrated. Because like two students today didn't answer the Telemost link, and I don't know why. They didn't even write to me in advance. And even my favorite student, who's like my friend also, he hasn't been answering the link and or my messages or anything. So that's very frustrating. I don't know what's going on with them. I mean, most of them I had in like classes last week. I don't know. Maybe a lot of students are on vacation now, so maybe that's the reason. But they should at least write to me. But that's not like frustration with Russia. That's just more uh, precise with my situation. So, other things about Russians. The people can be frustrating, especially adults. Like, I teach right now just teenagers. I don't have any adult students. And they're cool. Sometimes they can forget to write to me, like, sorry, I can't have class or something, but, you know, it's understandable. They're teenagers, whatever. Adults are different in a way, like, in my experience, okay, of course, I'm not saying this about all adults, but in my experience, um, you can't trust them. They can pretend to be really friendly and everything, and then like talk behind your back about you and try to like undermine you or get you in trouble and stuff like that. That has happened to me many, many times in Russia. That hasn't really happened to me in America. I don't remember situations like this in America, but in Russia, yeah, many times. Like you think you're friends with someone or you have a friendly like relationship, not necessarily friends, but you have a cordial, nice, good relationship. And the next thing they're like turn on you or talking behind your back to someone else. Like, even my colleagues did that. Like I was teaching my colleagues in London school here in Russia, right? So my boss wanted me to give them 3-hour lessons on Saturdays of all times, right? Like it was it once a week or maybe twice a month? Anyway, so I asked them, like, do you like the lessons and everything? Is everything okay? Do you have any criticism, any recommendations, how I can make the lessons more interesting for you, better? And all? Oh, no, no, everything is great. We love your lessons, Andrew, right? Sure, please, if you have any suggestions or anything, just let me know. Right? Oh, no, 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 everything is great. We love your lessons. Then they go behind my back and start talking to my boss about the things that they don't like about my lessons. Right? I'm teaching them two big fancy words like formidable. They thought, why do we need to know that word? Or supercilious. Yeah, one of their complaints was I'm teaching them to like highfalutin words that they don't need in everyday language, and some other complaints. But rather than talking to me, I think what in America, from my experience, like if you have a problem with your colleague, you talk to your colleague directly. You don't you don't pretend to be all nice to your colleague and then go talk to the boss and try to get your colleague in trouble. That's my experience in America because you don't want to get, unless you hate the person, you don't want to get the person in trouble. So if you're having a difficulty and if you can work it out one on one without getting someone else involved, especially the boss, I think that's basically what any nice person would do. And I think that's more of a Russian mentality, American mentality. But the Russian mentality is more like, oh yeah, everything's great, everything's fine. Oh, we can't stand this about him. We can't stand about this. Yeah, yeah. You should talk to him about this and this and that and that. It's happened to me so many times. That's really frustrating because you can't trust someone. You don't know if they're like being sincere or they're just being like backstabbing little two-faced people. Um, Happened with my neighbor. He was being like all friendly to me and everything. And he would ambush me in the hallway and start talking to me literally for hours. Alright. And I even invited him over for our Christmas Eve dinner. Right? Uh, we were we got along like really well. He talks a little bit of English and found it really interesting to be able to talk with me in English a bit and all and learn more and stuff and everything. And then like one day we were hanging out and I just asked him a question about taxes. And he started freaking out and I think it was drinking and was kind of like drunk, but he's like, "Oh, you don't want to pay your taxes." I'm like, no, I'm asking you where should I go to pay my taxes and everything and all this. Oh, you were in the hospital and it was all free. And in America, if you were in the hospital for that long, you would be in debt. They wouldn't even take you because you don't have money. And you don't want to pay. I'm like, I'm asking, and you don't want to pay your taxes? That's what your taxes goes for. I'm like, I'm asking you, where do I get the forms and everything to fill it out? Because now I'm self-employed, so it's different from before when the taxes were taken out automatically. And he started freaking out at me for no reason. Like, and it was a total, obviously, a misunderstanding, but it was that. And ever since then, like, he doesn't speak to me anymore. Like, we barely ever speak. We just say hello if we see each other. It was so weird. It was like I was asking him, okay, where should I get the forms, like, and everything, so I can pay my taxes. Just asking his advice because he also has his own like little business actually, uh, like a side job business. And the guy freaks out at me, and now like we don't get along anymore. So it's happened so many times. I can tell you so many different examples of that happening to me in Russia. So yeah, basically, and with other adult students, the same exact thing. Oh yeah, we love your lessons. We love your lessons, and they go to my boss and talk shit about me. So yeah, as far as Russian adults, I don't trust them. Simple as that. And I'll never really, like I don't have any friends here really. I have one friend, maybe two, but that's about it. Because your typical average guy, like, mm, I don't know, I don't trust him. And what else is something frustrating about Russia? Like when I make these videos, I usually just wing it. I don't like prepare. I get a general idea of what I want to talk about and just wing it. So if it seems like unprofessional or something, it's supposed to be unprofessional. Just me chatting with you guys. So anything else that I find frustrating, like really frustrating? Um, well, yeah, people littering. Okay, I talked about that in another video. Like you go in the forest and there's garbage, like tons of garbage where people had a barbecue and they just leave all their garbage. Right? People just like drinking a bottle and just throwing it on the street. It's so frustrating, and it gets me angry. Really, like I want to shout at them and like punch them in the face. I don't. Sometimes I even if they throw a bottle, I'll pick it up and throw it in the trash. But yeah, seeing people litter is really frustrating. Let's see, anything else? Um, oh, I don't know if it's in every supermarket because I asked my students and they're like, no, that's not normal. But the supermarket I always go to, like I like to shop and buy fresh food like almost every day. Bread I buy every day, freshly baked bread, and so yeah, I go to the supermarket often. It's right across the road from me. Right? They allowed dogs. I don't know if this is frustrating or annoying. More annoying. Okay, so let's say annoying. They allowed dogs into the supermarket. Have you ever heard of that? For dogs to be allowed in the supermarket? Not seeing eye dogs. No, just family or person with your dog. Big dogs, little dogs, okay? Just walking around the supermarket. And like everyone knows, dogs like to piss in new places and leave their scent and mark their territory, right? So that is like so unhygienic. Why the hell do they allow dogs? And one day I was there late in the evening, just before closing, right? I was getting something. And there was a woman in front of me with a dog, and she was chatting with the cashier. They obviously knew each other, and the dog just takes a big dump right there in the supermarket, and I'm like waiting in line right behind him, right at the cashier's place. He takes a big shit, or it. I don't know if it was male or female. And the cashier just laughed, like, oh, that's cute. It stunk so bad. I had to close my mouth, man. It stunk so bad. I was about to walk out, but this was closing time, and all stores basically close at 10 o'clock, right? And so, yeah, it was so disgusting. So disgusting. I should have taken a video of it. I was thinking about it, but I didn't want to get yelled at. Um, um, so yeah, that's really okay. I would say it's frustrating too because I don't want dogs. I love dogs, by the way. I love dogs, but I don't want dogs in the supermarket. Okay, that's just seems like dirty and just really unhygienic. Anything else that frustrates me? Police. So luckily, since I work from home now, I don't have that much interaction with police. But where I worked before, I was like more in the center of our half of the city. Like the city is divided by the Oka River. So like the center is on this side and we're on this side. So this was like the center of our half. And police just, if they don't like how you look, they'll stop you and ask for documents, and then they can even like make up some excuse why they want to take you in for interrogation or just to be dicks sometimes. Like with me, they knew me. They're like, "Oh, we knew you. We know you. You're the American." I'm like, "Yeah, why'd you stop me?" No, why you dressed like that? We don't like how you dressed. You look suspicious. Huh? I'm going to work. What's the problem? Hmm. Have you been drinking today? No, I haven't been drinking today. Yeah. Oh, so where are you from again? Oh, yeah. Let's see your documents. Oh, yeah. What are you doing here? Oh, America and Russia are practically at war now. You're an American, huh? For the ones that didn't know, I was American. Huh? And I do have a Russian passport also, so there shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, if they see just something, if you look different, and for it seems that I look different and I don't look Russian. One of my students even told me. Actually, he's my friend also. And we're celebrating something and having sushi together. And I was just wearing like a sweatshirt, a hoodie, and jeans. And he's like, and a cap. Not this one. That would be really obvious, though, American. And he's like, if assassin wanted to kill you, he would have no problem finding you because you can't hide in a cloud, in a crowd. You just stick out. I don't know why, because I was wearing jeans and a sweatshirt. It's just something about you. You just stick out in a crowd, and like, yeah, assassin would easily be able to kill you because you can't hide in a crowd. And so, yeah, I guess that's what police see too. They just see that I stand out for some reason. Really don't know why. I mean, other people wear hoodies and jeans. I guess I'm older and wearing hoodie and jeans, but that's interesting. Have I seen any older people like my age wearing hoodie and jeans? Probably. So, yeah, that's frustrating. And yeah, and people judge you more on your appearance than like in America. In America, from what I remember or from what I've experienced, nobody really cares how you're dressed or like you can have a mohawk or whatever, or what your hairstyle. You can be full of piercings and tattoos, and nobody like really cares. Or really, well, they might judge you like, okay, that's this type of person, but they don't bother you about it. They don't care. The police aren't going to stop you just because you have a lot of piercings or something. But here, there's a lot more. People judge you by their appearance, which is also really frustrating. If you look different, there's something wrong with you. Most people, if you look at the people just walking on the street, they're all pretty much dressed the same. You don't see anyone like in America. You see people dressed all kinds of crazy different ways, or they're more like individual. In America, here people try to blend in. That's exactly, they try to blend in and not stand out. And everybody really, it seems like they're dressed in the same kind of dark colors and just I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's like kind of a weird feeling, and everybody seems like in the same like grumpy mood. And I'm gonna make another video about that, like culture shocks, basically, and just like kind of in a way, it seems like out of I wouldn't say yeah, maybe like a horror movie, like a zombie movie or someone. Just even like the way they walk, the way everybody's just like dressed the same and acting the same, and I don't know, it gives a weird vibe, right? It's not as like laid back and just like as America, and just it doesn't seem as happy and joyous here. People seem like a lot more like subdued. Yeah, that's a good word. They feel like subdued. Um, so yeah, about how they judge you on your appearance. That's really frustrating. Some like when I didn't get a haircut for a while, some like guy just comes up to me. Why don't you get a haircut? What? You don't have enough money to get a haircut? What? You're poor? Some perfect stranger. I was walking to the store. He stops me and starts shouting at me for not getting a haircut. I mean, what the hell? So, yeah, those things are frustrating about uh, Russia. And this seems to be my longest video yet. So, I guess I had more to say about being frustrated here. Okay. So goodbye, everyone. Oh, one last thing. Tonight, I'm gonna make a cool video about like celebrating spring, and I'm gonna start a fire in my house. So stay tuned for that one. I'm gonna start a real fire in my house in my big log I have. I have no chimney, no ventilation except opening the window, no fire extinguisher. I did this on Yule on a winter solstice, so I'm gonna do it again. It's gonna look really cool. So stay tuned for that. I hope you watch it. Okay. Goodbye, everyone. До свидания. Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye.